Ah yes, Mario Kart. A franchise we all know and love. Which game is your favorite? Do you like Mario Kart 64 the most for its fantastic battle mode? Or Mario Kart DS because of the technicality of snaking in mission mode? Or Mario Kart 8 because you want to bother me and say Pink Gold Peach is your favorite character?
I think it's safe to say that we're all pretty aware of the 9 Mario Kart titles, and we all love them to some extent. But wait, there's 3 other Mario Kart titles that most people don't talk about.
That's right, we're getting into the arcade versions of Mario Kart. The first one, Mario Kart Arcade GP, came out in October 2005.
This game is over 10 years old? That feels really strange for some reason.
Anyway, we're getting off track. Let's dive into Mario Kart Arcade GP. The first thing we're greeted with is, do you have Mario Kart?
I think I lost it.
Okay, do I want to make a Mario Kart?
You might be wondering, what the heck is a Mario Kart? Well, it's basically a way to save your progress. That's right, a Mario Kart is kind of like walking around with a memory stick.
Alright, let's pick a character. So we got the usual, there's Peach, Toad, Donkey Kong, what?
Pac-Man?
And there's Ms. Pac-Man and Blinky the Ghost.
Yep, this game was developed by Namco Bandai, so just like Smash 4, we're getting some of that Namco love.
Another thing to know is that each character has their own stats for acceleration, weight, and top speed, which to me is really neat considering this is an arcade game and it went for this level of detail.
I'm impressed. They really went all out here. My expectations have just soared through the roof. This is going to be the most underrated Mario Kart of all time.
So there's 2 modes to pick from. You got Grand Prix and Time Attack. I'm guessing we'll need to unlock all the tracks, so let's hit up this campaign. There's a lot of different cups to pick from, but we'll start with good old Mario Cup.
Ooh, I can hardly contain my excitement. Let's do this.
Our first track is called Mario Highway, and as you can see, it looks like your typical starting track. There's not too many tight turns or anything like that. It's a good place to get used to the game. Now pay attention to the items. They aren't your ordinary bananas or green shells.
You aren't gonna believe me when I tell you this, but there are 93 items. Yeah, 90 freaking 3. How does that even work?
Here's the catch. Only 3 items are available for use per race. Each track has a different selection of items to use. As you're going through the cups, earning first place will allow you to move forward and you'll unlock a new item. You'll be able to use that new item in the next race. Oh, and by the way, you have to get first place or you can't try the next track. A couple of smaller things to mention, there's only 6 characters in a race at any given time. Why they dropped from 6 to the usual 8 or 12 is beyond me. And here's another fun detail, when you hit the final lap, a very familiar sound plays.
Huh. I'm pretty sure that's the same sound effect from Mario Kart Double Dash. I'm really not that surprised because technically this was the next Mario Kart after Double Dash. The DS Mario Kart also came out in 2005 like Arcade GP, but that was a month after.
Alright, so we finished up our race and wrecked some scrubs, let's hit up round 2. Next is Mario Beach, and it looks similar to Mario Highway, but there's this cool little bridge section with a lot of trees and piranha plants. Another thing I should mention about items is the way you throw them. You'll notice the blue cursor on the screen. That shows the direction your item will go. But if you're facing a player for long enough, the cursor will slowly change to red and your item will now home in on them.
So to sum things up, everything can be a red shell.
Whoa.
And on to the next track we have... Wait, this is definitely Mario Highway. Yeah, it is. It's the same thing except now there's a sunset. The only difference gameplay-wise is the items.
And you know, I'd love to talk about the new items, but the fact that there's over 90 of them and there's even character-specific items, where would I even start?
Well, let's try out the final course. And, well, this is just Mario Beach, but with different visuals. I gotta say though, the night sky looks really pretty since we can see all the stars in the sky. So if you're skilled enough to get first place in every race, you'll be presented with a challenge game. The mission is to carry a watermelon to the goal.
Carry a watermelon? Great, all I can think of is the Watermelon Festival from Super Mario Sunshine. But on the other hand, is this kind of like mission mode for Mario Kart DS?
And wouldn't you guess, this basically is a mission. The game itself is really quick and it's a fun treat. And guys, I just gotta say, this whole mission has to be a reference to that shine in Mario Sunshine. The background looks very similar and there's even Piantas and Cataquacks walking around.
And you know, I bet they wouldn't have included this if Mario Kart DS wasn't right around the corner. So if you're listening to this, Nintendo, please bring back mission mode to Mario Kart. We've all been wanting it back for years.
With the Mario Cup done, let's check out the DK Cup. The prize for this is the black shell. Okay, we're seeing a brand new type of shell before seeing the green, red, or blue ones. Man, this game is strange. Anyway, the first track is called Donkey Kong Jungle. It's pretty flat, but the tropical jungle scenery is pretty nice. It's basically just a giant oval with really sharp turns. So now I'm gonna bring up the coins. You may have noticed them before. As you'd expect, the more coins you collect, the faster your overall speed will be. I mention this now because Mario Kart Arcade starts to pick up in difficulty at this point, and it only gets harder from here. So getting lots of coins is essential. Our next track is Bananin Ruins.
Yes, bananin, not banana. I don't get it either, man.
This is a really cool looking track because you get to drive through some ancient Denki King ruins and temples, and yes, there's a big giant DK statue and it's glorious. The next tracks are the same as the first two, but now both of them are going through a downpour of rain.
You know, it's pretty cool that there's different environmental elements and all that, but it really sucks that there's only 2 tracks per cup. Like, what were Nintendo and Namco thinking? Were they trying to save money?
So the challenge after the DK Cup is to, quote unquote, beat 15 Koopa by using the hammer. Oh, and would you looky here! This is actually like the coolest thing ever, oh my god. And on to the Wario Cup. Why is Wario gold in this picture? The first track in this cup is Diamond City, and as the game implies, you're driving around in a very luxurious looking city. And there's Egad. He's just kinda chilling out. I don't know where all these random references are coming from, but I like it. Keep them coming. The next track is called Snow Panic, and this one starts off normal, but you'll quickly get thrown into a snowy landscape. It's strange, only one section of the track is covered in snow, and that's it.
Well, there aren't really any ice physics as far as I can tell. This is where the game really starts to get challenging, and it's gonna take practice to get in first place.
Have I mentioned that the computer's rubber band? If you don't know what rubber banding is, basically when you're in first place, the players from behind will accelerate faster than normal to make it harder for you to stay in first. Mario Kart 64 is pretty infamous for having rubber banding, and most people hate it. Personally, I love rubber banding in Mario Kart 64 because it provides a fun challenge and you're forced to master the items, since you'll need to use those to stay on top.
So you might think, rubber banding works for Mario Kart Arcade too, right?
No.
The biggest problem with rubber banding in this game is the fact that you can't defend yourself. There's no throwing items behind you and there's no holding them behind you either. So when you get hit by something, which will happen a lot, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to hope that you don't get hit by an item at the end of the last lap to win, basically.
This is probably Mario Kart Arcade's biggest flaw. But to be fair, all the items do lock onto other players like we've talked about, so it is possible to catch up if you fall behind.
The third and fourth stage for the Wario Cup are the same tracks as I'm sure you're accustomed to by now, but now it's nighttime. And that's it, basically. Moving on, the challenge after this cup is to reach a goal while driving backwards. Again, this really reminds me of Mario Kart DS's mission mode, and I just adore these little challenges. And now, onto the Pac-Man Cup. The first track is called Pac Mountain. For some reason, this reminds me of the Animal Crossing stage from Mario Kart 8, but with more Pac-Man references. And there's a radioactive forest. That's fun. For the next track, we have Pac Labyrinth, and it looks similar to Pac Mountain, but now we get to drive across an orange brick road. And also we drive on these boost pads and are teleported to another dimension filled with giant Pac-Man things.
What?
Okay, this is amazing. I can't tell if we're supposed to be inside like the code for Pac-Man or I don't even know. This place is just groovy. Now is a good time to mention that you can also jump and drift in this game. Jumping isn't really important until you get to these harder tracks. That's because you can jump onto higher elevated sections for a shortcut. The timing needs to be really precise though, or you'll just bonk on the wall. These shortcuts are required to get first because of how challenging this game will get. The third and fourth tracks add more grass. That's the only change. There's just more grass on the track. The challenge after the Pac-Man Cup is to jump over some electrical lines. I gotta say, I'm impressed at the variety of challenges Mario Kart Arcade offers. This is yet another enjoyable mission. But now, it's time for the Bowser Cup. And surprise, surprise, the first track we play on is Bowser's Castle. Is it just me, or does this opening look really similar to the one from Mario Kart Wii?
I always feel like a lot of Bowser Castle tracks always start with Bowser eating us. Is that just me, or...?
Anyway, this is your typical Bowser Castle level. There's really nothing too unique about it. I mean, all I can think of is that it reminds me of Mario Kart Wii's Bowser's Castle. The next track is called Castle Wall, and you basically just drive on top of a wall.
Insert Donald Trump joke.
The thing is, barely any of Castle Wall is actually a wall. A lot of the elements come right from Bowser's Castle. You know, if this game is gonna have 2 tracks per cup, I guess I can accept that. But why make the 2 tracks so similar in design? It makes it really hard to distinguish which track is which. Now the 3rd and 4th tracks big change? Magic Koopa adds some blocks to make the course even narrower. I guess that's a cool gimmick, but now you'll definitely be forced to take the shortcuts or you'll stand no chance.
It's important to keep in mind that this is an arcade game through and through, and arcade games are going to have different styles of gameplay in comparison to home and handheld consoles. So, things are going to be a little quirky no matter what.
The challenge for the Bowser Cup is really cool. Basically, Bowser is standing on some rock and you'll throw shells to break off the edges, all while avoiding Bowser's flames. Or attempting to, at least. This kind of feels like a boss fight, and again, the creativity is just astounding to me.
So if you manage to get first place in all the races and complete all the challenges, you'll unlock the Rainbow Cup. That's right, a cup completely dedicated to Rainbow Road tracks. Oh boy, let's go, let's do this, my body is freaking ready, let's go.
This first course is called Rainbow Coaster. It starts off like a traditional Rainbow Road, but you'll run into the teleporting again and you're sent to, I guess, the sky? The vines really remind me of Sky Garden from Super Circuit. This is a really interesting locale. And in case you were wondering, yes, this course is super hard. While there's no items in this track, the computer's rubber banding you is still a lot of work to keep up with. Up next is Rainbow Downhill, and boy oh boy is there a lot of downhills. This track is similar to Rainbow Coaster, in which you'll teleport to a new type of area. Here you're surrounded by a bunch of flowers. However, the turns are incredibly sharp and it's really hard to stay in first. There are items for this track, but they're only mushrooms, and the computers always seem to use them when you're slowing down. And real quick, the 3rd and 4th tracks are the same thing but have underwater themes added. It's nothing too special, to be honest.
So there you have it, guys. Mario Kart Arcade is a pretty interesting title. Not a lot of people talk about this game, but I would definitely recommend trying it if you ever see it in your local arcades. Now, this isn't the best Mario Kart by any means, but I do love how different it feels, and wait a minute, we still have to talk about the Rainbow Cup Challenge.
Robo Mario.
Robo Mario. That's the challenge. You race him. Mario. Baby Mario, Tanuki Mario, Metal Mario, Gold Mario, and now we got Robo Mario! Well, that's just great. I thought this game was pure. I thought it was free of the clones, but nope. Anything Nintendo touches anymore with Mario Kart, just clone, clone, clone. That's all it is. They can't come up with any original characters. Yeah, we got freaking Pac-Man. That's so cool. But why